Hey guys, what's up, Mother Flowers? It's me, Steve. I'm back at it one more time with a new video. So, the title below says this will be my Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 12 review recap show. I also was watching Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 12 at the same time because I was watching NXT TakeOver New Orleans at the same time that I was watching UFC 223. And this is what I've always been saying. I always said that the Ring of Honor shows during WrestleMania weekends always tend to be very, very good shows. And this show apparently was Ring of Honor's, record attendance show. Apparently, like 5 to 6,000 people were actually in attendance for the show. A sold out crowd, and I think that good for them. That's very good. That's good for them. I honestly thought this show, in my honest opinion, was a pretty good show. Don't get me wrong, but I personally felt that some of these matches where they were placed on the card were placed in the wrong position, if you will. But that's my honest opinion, guys. Take it for what it's worth. But I want it from you down below in the comment threads of this video. What your thoughts on the show, if you liked it, if you hated it. Also, while you're here, hit that sub button down below, give this a big old thumbs up, and share this video through our entire social media. Before I get into this review, though, I want to give a big thank you to the homie himself, Salrex, for this amazing overlay that you see this video in right now. He's literally done all my overlays, all my layouts, all the logos that you see on this channel. It's all because of him. If you just watched my NXT review that I did for TakeOver New Orleans, he did the overlay. If you saw my last night's review of the Impact Wrestling vs Lucha Underground show that I did on the channel, my thoughts on that show, he did that awesome overlay as well. So again, if you are a YouTuber or a podcaster out there and you want awesome layouts done for your channel, we'll hit him up. If you want awesome logos done for your podcast, hit him up. He's done overlays and logos not just for myself, but for OKFabe, the Sound Monster of the Sound Monster Wrestling Sounds Out Wrestling Podcast, JD from NY206, just to name a few. But anywho, let's get on to this review, shall we? The show kicked off with Chucky T versus Jonathan Gresham. I'll be honest, this match did nothing for me. I know Jonathan Gresham a couple months ago had a match with Jay Lethal on Facebook Live, and they tore the house down. It was a very, very good match. But this is one of those things where I thought this match could have easily been nicked off the show, or if not, added to the Facebook Live, show that they did before this, in my honest opinion. Also, one more thing before I get into this review as well, that I didn't mention. So, I have the Honor Club, right? And for like the first hour or so, it wasn't working for everyone on social media. Like everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh, the Ring of Honor site is down." Because when you went on the site, it said forbidden, which was really really weird at first. But hey, they actually got it fixed. It was good on them for that. But again, this match was a match that was just there to kick off the show. Chucky T got the win, and there you go with that. We had Punishment Martinez versus Tomohiro Ishii. It's a New Japan versus Ring of Honor match, if you will. This match is pretty fun. Martinez is coming into his own, in my honest opinion. There's a moment in the match where he did like 2 suicide dives to Tomohiro Ishii. Keep this in mind. Punishment Martinez is a tall, tall dude. Imagine Baron Corbin with athleticism. That's literally what you get with this guy. But what really caught me by surprise is that literally Punishment Martinez picked up the win over Ishii, who Ishii is currently the Rev Pro champion over there in the UK. It's crazy because you think about this, right? Every time there's a Ring of Honor versus New Japan kind of match, Ring of Honor always tends to put over the New Japan guy over their own people. But good on them for this match. Good on Martinez for getting the win here. So let's see where they go with this. And I think somewhere down the road, Punishment Martinez could be a guy. I'm not saying right now, but he could probably feud for the Ring of Honor World Title. Put it this way, right? If Dalton Castle is your current champion, then why the hell not, right? I'm just saying. We had Kota Ibushi versus Hangman Page. I'll be honest, this is me, of course. Hangman Page is starting to grow on me. I think, honestly, he's become a better performer in the last year or so. I feel like he had a good showing against Switchblade Jay White, even though he should have won, because I thought it would have made sense to have an American hold on to the IWGP US title. But hey, that's my honest opinion. This match again was a very, very fun match as well. These guys were, going outside the ring. The crowd was into it. Near falls here as well. But it was all said and done, Ishii got my bad. Kota Ibushi got the win after hitting Page with Kamagoye knee for the 1-2-3. So, like I said before, it's crazy to think that Punishment Martinez beat Tomohiro Ishii. Crazy to see that it was crazy to see that a Ring of Honor person went over a New Japan guy, but you're not always gonna get that, especially with Kota Ibushi being that again part of the Golden Lovers. So it was cool to see, again, this match for what it was. And let's see. I mean, again, it's always cool to see, some of these guys from New Japan coming over to Ring of Honor wrestle these, like, especially for these big shows as well. So the fact that Ibushi came down here for a Ring of Honor, so that's cool to see. Hopefully for New York, I know they're doing a show in New York in June. Hopefully Ibushi's on that show, but we'll see. I keep on saying we'll see, like it's my fucking slogan now and shit. I don't know why, but you kind of get the idea. Um, we then had the Women of Honor Championship finale. The crown the first ever Women of Honor champion. Sumi Sakai versus Kelly Klein. I'm sorry, this match was sloppy. This match was just, oh. And here's the thing about it, okay? You had all the women that were in the tournament, at ringside. So I thought that was cool. It had like that New Japan Best of the Super Juniors vibe, where all the participants that were in the tournament were at ringside watching the finale, from a good view. And I'll be honest, when Ring of Honor announced that they're going to do this women's tournament, a part of me always thought that, hey, someone like Mandy Leon was going to actually win this tournament. You think about it, right? When you think of the Women of Honor in Ring of Honor right now, who embodies that to a T, it's Mandy Leon. And I always thought that, hey, someone like her, if they were to ever do a women's championship, which I'm happy that they're actually doing it now, that she would have been the first champion. Or if not, you know what? A Tennille Dashwood, aka Emma, because again, you want to kick that off with someone with a big name. But again, this match just like, at the end of the day, at the end of the, my best, at the end of the day, but at the end of the match, right? Sumi Sakai goes for like a DDT. You can tell they botched the whole ending of the match because they go for the pinfall after that, and the match is over, and no one who had ringside had a reaction. It was like a late reaction. Okay, whatever, it just happened. That's literally how it felt to me. All right, but Sumi Sakai is the first Women of Honor champion, so good on her for that. We then had the 6-man tag team championship ladder match, SoCal Uncensored versus the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon. This was a fun match. Obviously, when the Young Bucks are in a match with the ladders, you're always gonna have a fun, entertaining match. It's a crazy off the chain match here. The Kingdom, who were supposed to be SoCal Uncensored's original opponents before they were banned from Supercard of Honor by Bully Ray. They interfered. They attacked, the Bucks, and then they attacked SoCal Uncensored. And the Young Bucks and SoCal Uncensored teamed up to take out the Kingdom. But Christopher Daniels later on climbed the ladder to retrieve the belts. But after the match, the Kingdom actually beat up Christopher Daniels, and they took the titles from them. So they literally kidnapped the 6-person tag titles. I'll be honest, Matt Taven is coming into his own. I remember seeing Matt Taven in 2013 when he was like the Ring of Honor television champion. And look at him now. He's tearing it up, not just in Ring of Honor, but also in CMLL. So, it's good for him. Just really good for him as a whole. We then had, good thing about it, you go from a 6-person tag team match to then a tag team title match. So this is what I'm saying. That the placement of these matches were just off completely. We had the Briscoe defend the tag team title versus Jay Lethal and Hiroshi Tanahashi. This was an okay match. Nothing really crazy about it. Tanahashi was there, got a reaction, but people were dead from the Young Bucks match on this one. Lethal was pinned after the Briscoe hit the Doomsday Device. So there you go with that. After this, a video package of Kenny King versus Silas Young was played. Austin Aries showed up with all the belts that he had. He created to think that Austin Aries can go to a Ring of Honor show with not just one but two Impact titles, as well as the Defy, the IPW title, and other belts as well. But you kind of get the idea. He pretty much went out there and said that, hey, he issued a challenge for the Ring of Honor Television Champion, and he got no answer. So he wants to face the winner of the last man standing match between Silas Young and Kenny King, and he'll be doing commentary. How crazy is that, right? He did commentary in WWE, and now you're going to try to improve the commentary Ring of Honor from Colt Cabana and Ian Riccaboni, which, by the way, I think Ian Riccaboni is coming into his own as well. I am enjoying his commentary on Ring of Honor, so it's cool to see that he's finally coming into his own. Like, at first, I wasn't really big on him, but now, that, again, when you think about it, Steve Corino's gone, Kevin Kelly's gone, you have Colt Cabana with Ian Riccaboni, so Ian Riccaboni balances the whole thing out right now, so it's good for him on that. But yeah, it was match for what it was. Kenny King versus Silas Young. I thought the match was alright. Nothing really crazy. Yeah, they were going at it, ball to the wall. There's a moment, the whole thing as well, at the end where I guess the Beer City Bruiser was underneath the ring and he tied Kenny's legs or his feet to with some rope and shit, and Kenny couldn't get back up. So that's how the match ended with some controversy. Why the hell not? But I'll be honest, I think Silas Young, I'm amazed he's still in Ring of Honor. I'll be honest, but I always enjoy the character of Silas Young, the last real man. But he is now once again the Ring of Honor Television Champion, so good for him on that. We had Cheeseburger versus the Dog, who apparently he needed a partner. Bully Ray was there, and Cheeseburger's like, hey, listen, I want you to be my partner. He literally put Bully Ray on the spot. And the match literally ended in no contest. Bully Ray chokeslammed Cheeseburger and called him, Will Ospreay, Flip Gordon, and Ricochet entitled, and they are killing the wrestling business. And Al King joke off and Flip Gordon to try to save Cheeseburger, and then Bully Ray threatened to pile drive Cheeseburger to break his neck. Keep this in mind: the Louisiana State Athletic Commission, they shut down the show because, again, apparently there's this list with all these moves that are not allowed to do in the state of New Orleans if you're a wrestler. Keep this in mind: Ring of Honor and WWE are accepted from this whole thing, so they could actually do the pile driver and all that shit, and nothing would happen. But instead, Bully Ray powerbombed Cheeseburger and left the ring, and then he showed off his Hall of Fame ring. I'm a WWE Hall of Famer. He went through this fucking shoot mode that really, to be honest, it was there. People were booing him. It got the job done to get the heat on Bully Ray. I always enjoy Bully Ray in TNA. But honestly, I feel like, that gimmick, could it work in Ring of Honor? Yes, as long as you don't give him the fucking world title. That's all I'm going to say about that. We then get the match that really, I'm shocked this didn't close the show, because I feel like this should have closed the show, in my honest opinion. Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega. I thought this match, again, this was supposed to be the match of the weekend, and again, I thought this was a good match, all you want, but nothing is touching right now. Nothing is touching Ciampa versus Gargano. Nothing right now, WrestleMania weekend. Okay, and this match as a whole, again, was a good match. There's crazy back and forth here. Brandy Rhodes went through a table after Kenny hit the V trigger. Well, he was supposed to hit Cody, but Cody ducked, and he hit Brandy Rhodes. So again, just near fall after near fall here. There's a ref bump, and both guys were down. The Young Bucks entered the ring, and they look conflicted because they're like, who are we going to super kick? Whose side are we on, right? Are you Team Cody? Are you Team Kenny? And it looked like they're about to super kick Cody Rhodes. Cody ducked, and they end up hitting Kenny Omega instead. And then Cody hit Kenny with the crossroad for the win. So, more salt to the wound. It's really, to be honest, too, being that Kenny is mostly a New Japan guy, it made a lot of sense for Cody to get the win here. So now, essentially, Cody has control now of the Bullet Club, Where will this go? I don't even know. But I look forward to watching the next episode of Being the Elite to see where the fuck this is gonna go. I'm just saying. And then we get the main event of the night. Right? The main event of the night. We get Marty Scurll versus Dalton Castle for the Ring of Honor World title. And here's the thing about it. I thought this match was okay. I feel like people were dead after the Kenny and Cody match. And they went out there. They got a semi-reaction for what it was. There was a moment in the match where Marty Scurll was kind of hate Dalton Castle with fucking powder. And that got countered. And the whole thing, Marty got blinded. And he ended up snapping the fingers off Todd St. Clair. But all of that, Dalton Castle got the win. And he retained the championship. Even though Marty Scurll was stomping on the head of Dalton Castle, but Dalton got the win regardless. And I'll be honest, okay? I think Dalton Castle is a great wrestler. Don't get me the fuck wrong. But I said this before and I'll say it again. And I don't give a fuck if you guys get offended by this shit. Dalton Castle is not a guy that I will put my championship on if I am running a company. Especially my world title. It's one thing if you put a mid-card belt on Dalton Castle. That's fine and damn, like the television title. That's great. But to put the world title, it's like, eh. If anything, I would have rather see them put the belt on Jay Briscoe, if that's the case. Just saying. Okay? This is like, okay, I'm giving the world title to Tyler Breeze. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Dalton Castle. He's a great wrestler. Don't get me the fuck wrong. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying that shit. He's just not a guy who I put the world title on. Nonetheless, this match was okay. The crowd was dead from the Kenny and Cody match. But again, this match, as the show as a whole, was a good show. WrestleMania weekend. The only knock on the show is some of the matches with their place on the card. That's just me, of course. And I just would have trimmed off the Jonathan Gresham versus Chucky T match. That's just my honest opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But overall, again, Supercard of Honor 12 was a very, very good show for WrestleMania weekend. And did it compete with NXT per se? Not really. I'll give the upper hand to NXT over Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 12. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was it was a bad show or anything like that. It just I feel like NXT with 5 matches, they did more to excite you as a fan than Ring of Honor did. Because I feel like Ring of Honor relied so much on the Bullet Club that it was just, again, a good show, but nothing really impactful. If you want my honest opinion as well. That's my thoughts. I'll hear from you down below in the comment thread. Give me your thoughts in the comments of this video, or if not on Twitter, at HeelSteven. Make sure you like all my videos, and as always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, mother flowers, it's me, it's Steve, it's wrestling and whatever, mother flowers, and I'm out like Janet's titties.